Wherever you are and however you are listening, thank you so much for being back with us on another incredible episode of Winning the Moment podcast. This is episode 46, and we have the director of sales for my favorite company, Vibrant Marketing, Jared Foote, and it is an absolutely entertaining conversation. We talk about his pursuit of becoming an Olympian. His background and his story is so entertaining. It's going to fly by, and you will absolutely love it. Be sure to like and subscribe, and most importantly, enjoy the episode. Super excited to be back with you today. We've got my boy Jared Foote in the office. He is the director of sales at Vibrant Marketing, one of our companies, and he has just been an absolute dog. Started with us from the beginning. Man, this kid has got passion and fire. I remember when Spencer first told me, he's like, yeah, he'll just work for free, commission only. I was like, why? He was like, he believes in it. And now we had Spencer on earlier today, and we started just back in July. So, I mean, we are not too deep into this thing, but we've had some incredible growth, and you have been a huge part of that, a pillar of the organization. I'm just happy to have you here.
Dude, I'm so excited to be here. It's talking about Vibrant Marketing, talking about it all. I've been watching the podcast for a long time. I got your book when you first wrote it.
You read it, right?
I read the book in like April of last year.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been waiting for this moment.
Yeah, we had it scheduled once and had to reschedule, so I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. I love when people have read the book because then you really understand the premise of the message. And what's cool about you is that so much of the background of the book came from like growing up in sports, right? That's where I learned the power of winning and losing. And you are the resident athlete of the Vibrant Marketing team. Actually was on Team USA's development team last year. So why don't you talk a little bit about your background with sports and then also, you know, how you got to be here today with us at Vibrant Marketing?
Absolutely. So started out as a multi-sport athlete. It starts playing tons of different sports growing up, whether it was playing golf on the weekends, basketball, all of that, soccer. As soon as I hit like middle school, I focused more on soccer. Played on a comp team, got to travel a lot of places and play. Super cool. Then we got over to high school, 9th grade for me, and I got cut from the high school team.
Wow. Like even freshman. After being on a traveling soccer
team playing. I was even playing with like one of the assistant coaches was like my personal trainer at the time.
Wow.
And so even with his words, I just got cut. And it was kind of frustrating at the time. I understood it now. It's just kind of like you have a lot of politics playing high school sports.
Yeah, that's true.
But that kind of happened. And so I decided, you know what, let's try out lacrosse because all my friends are playing lacrosse.
What's funny, when I grew up lacrosse, obviously it was a sport, but it's like it didn't exist and like you couldn't play it really. Yeah. You know, like it wasn't even a thing. It wasn't an option.
Yeah, well, it was big on the East Coast. And now it's coming over to West right now.
Yeah.
So played lacrosse, absolutely loved it for 2 years. And then my senior year, I was like, well, I want to run a marathon. So So it was my junior year. I want to run a marathon. So I ran my first marathon alongside playing lacrosse. Marathon time wasn't that good.
What was it?
It was like 4:32.
Okay. Yeah. My first one, I ran it in my 30s, but it was 5 hours and 1 minute.
Okay.
And that was my goal.
Hey, well, you got it. You got your goal
on
there. So ran that marathon, and then I decided, you know what? I'm coming back running another one. I'm going to run it faster. Goal was like, I want to qualify for Boston as an 18-year-old.
Did you always enjoy running, or did you just enjoy the challenge of like beating yourself basically?
I think that's more what it was.
Yeah.
Running is like, in the beginning, it's not very fun, but I did like it too because it also helped me to stay in really good shape at the same time.
For lacrosse. Put your mouth a little bit closer to that mic for me.
Okay, got you. Yeah, it helped me stay like in good shape for lacrosse, but at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, you're going to pool parties and all that stuff. So you already know. Yeah, you know what it is.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you run your first one, and then you want to qualify for Boston. What's the time to qualify for Boston?
I had to run a 3-hour flat.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a huge change in time. 4:42?
Yeah. Well,
an hour and 42 minutes?
Mm-hmm. You're dropping really a lot of time through there.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I hired my first running coach. I decided I was done with lacrosse. Well, done with lacrosse right there.
What does a running coach do for you?
He wrote me my whole training plan. We talked a ton about like nutrition, and he was always just kind of monitoring my progress.
Isn't there a science too also like running, like your gait and the way that your feet land and take off and all of that too?
Oh yeah, that's the cool part about it. So like having like when you plant your foot like this, having it on the ball of your foot allows you to propel yourself forward more, because if you use your whole foot, you're more like just pushing up and you're just bouncing up and down like this instead of just pushing yourself forward.
Interesting. So you should always be running on your toes.
Yeah, running on your toes. Not super far on your toes, you're not a sprinter, but on the ball of your foot right there. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's kind of cool. He wrote up the program. and it was really fun, crazy, just lots amount of miles. And so ran that race, but at the same time, it was kind of funny. I also picked up volleyball.
Okay.
I'm like 5'11", smallest kid on the court playing volleyball, right?
So you just
Indoor
love
volleyball.
sports. You're just down
Yeah.
for whatever.
It's just I wanted to play part of the team sport, and then it's also
Yeah.
just kind of the hype of playing it for a school team, just like
Yeah.
through there. So I did my marathon. I didn't end up qualifying for Boston.
What
I
was
ran
that
at
time?
3:32.
Oh, that's still an
Yeah, it's
amazing,
crazy fast.
yeah. Well, and an amazing improvement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean from your
yeah.
baseline.
A whole
I mean,
hour dropped.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
So what's that equate to in miles per minute? Do you know?
I ran a 6:55
Wow.
for most of that, and then it was like mile 22. I was just like not having it anymore. It was
Yeah.
so rough.
I remember on mine, I think it was mile 19, and I was damn near ready to be done. Like I was in pain, I was hurting, and then some gal gave me like Tylenol, ibuprofen, I don't know what.
Yeah.
And whether it actually worked or the placebo effect of it worked, like it just let me have that, you know? And so I
Yeah.
wanted to run 5 hours, and I ran it with my dad, who at this time must have been 60, and he's faster than me. He's like ran it my whole life, you know. So he like we were together for the first like 2 or 3 miles, and he's like, I am out, you know, I can't do it. And I was like, all right, I'll see you later,
love
you know.
that, Phil.
Never saw him again until Diagonal Street, and he was walking down Diagonal. So I finally caught him. So that's like mile like 25, you know. So I finally catch him, and I'm walking with him. Like, no, let's finish together. And so we walked for a while, and then he was like, you got to go. You have a goal. You got to go. And so I actually missed my goal of 5 hours because I walked with him for that while on Diagonal.
Oh my goodness.
But I wouldn't trade that memory for anything.
Yeah, no, you never do. That's the same thing with mine. Is I was actually running these marathons with my mom at the time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so she did Boston a bunch of times, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I chose to do the second marathon is because she beat me on the first. She killed me on the first, dude. Like she beat me by 30 minutes.
Wow.
Okay, so
That's what's unique about running, you know? Like my dad at 60 could do it better than me.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, I played sports my whole life, you know? It's not like I've never done anything active, and this 6-year-old's just kicking my ass.
It's just, well, you've seen the Olympians. Like, a lot of the pros for running, they're all older than what a lot of, like, the younger guys come in. It's just the way that your body works with science.
Well, and also probably your mind, too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Running a marathon's a mental experiment.
Dude, well, you know how it is. Mile 18, you know exactly what happens. You hit that wall.
What's funny is, where was I? I was at the Cliff Dwellers dinner. I went to one of our properties this week, and we had a dinner for some of the owners, and Emily on our team was like, so your birthday's coming up. Like, you run in your 37 miles. Like, God damn it, Emily, don't bring that up, you know?
That's true, dude. That's true.
So I got 37 miles ahead of me, and I trained really good in the beginning, and then just like anything in life, you stop that momentum. It's very hard to pick it back up. And I kept thinking, I got time. Well, today it is it's March 8th.
Okay.
And so I do not have a lot of time.
When's your birthday?
April 29th.
Oh my goodness, Cody.
And it's
dude,
like,
this is coming up.
I'm so torn because it's like I finally got to the age, like I was playing basketball a few weeks ago, and I was like, I did something. I was like, oh, I can hurt myself now. Like, I'm actually at the age where like I can get hurt just like moving around, you know?
Wow.
And so it's like I've got this internal battle of like, because I know that I can do anything. Like, I could go, and if I had to walk and it took me 14 hours, like I could do it, you know? And so it's like, I kind of feel like I have to do it even though I'm really not ready, because I said I want to do it, and I know that it'll feel good. Even if it takes me 14 hours, even if I have to walk, I'm going to look back and be like, yeah, that was badass, you know? So we'll see.
Didn't you do something like that before though, where you ran a bunch of miles on your birthday?
No, this was someone else. So Trevor Cowley, who is one of the, podcasters from Real Business Owners. He's just an absolute G, like incredible. He's been doing 2-a-days for like 780 days in a row, has not missed a day.
Oh, 75 hard looks easy for that.
Yeah,
guy.
that's what he said. He was like, he did 75 hard. He's like, why would I stop? And so he's done it now for like 800 days.
Oh my
He's just a shredded pack of meat, you know?
Holy.
And so he did it, and I thought like, man, what a cool thing for your kids. So I heard that like a year and a half ago, and I came home and told my wife I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what a cool example for my kids. And then on my 36th birthday, I ran that day, made a post, and like I pinned it on my Instagram. So it's like I'm accountable, you know? and that was like my most engagement ever, you know? And it's like, so now I feel like I got to do it.
Yo, you got to do it. When are you going to hire a coach, dude? That's what you need. The coach is going to hold you accountable for it all.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
And go listen to some David Goggins or something. You know?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, and what's funny is right before you, so the guy who left, that was Brad Harker, who's a growth coach. Spencer uses him as his coach. And so it's like, I obviously know coaching works, you know? But then it's like, then I don't have an out really, because then I do have someone holding me accountable. But anyways, I don't mean to sidetrack so much, but
No,
I feel like
good.
it's relevant.
It
So you ran your second one because of your mom.
Yeah, ran my second one because of my mom. And there's always like deeper story into that too and all that with being like closer to her and everything through that. So then that marathon happened, 3:32, and it was just like, you know what? I'm happy with it. I ran a marathon, I did it quick, and then I was just like, let me just focus on volleyball. So that became like my senior year, focusing on volleyball, played for the school team and had tons of fun. We went to the state competition, totally sucked, but had a lot of fun through that. So that's what I kind of just left off playing volleyball. Then after that, I went on my 2-year service mission for the LDS Church.
Where'd you go?
Mexico.
What part?
Veracruz.
Man, how nice. You had to learn Spanish.
Yeah, dude. It has been, well, that was the first thing when I came back from the missions. My first job was straight Spanish.
Really?
Yeah, I worked at some, Capstone Nutrition in Ogden, Utah. And just pretty much 90% of the workforce there just spoke Spanish. So
wow,
for me,
so you got to keep it up.
Oh, they just accepted me right away. They're like, oh, you can have the cool job. You speak Spanish. You can talk to everybody.
Wow.
So it helped a ton with work right as
Such
I got
a great
back.
skill.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
And then it's not surprising you're in sales. I feel like such a high percentage of accomplished missionaries, accomplished being you finished it, right? Ending up in sales because it's like, you were in that
Well,
grind.
it's what you did for 2 years, but you did it for free. Now you can get paid.
Yeah, and you built that callus of hearing no's, right? Like, because obviously you're going to get 90% no's, maybe higher.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing for a new salesperson to learn, I feel like, is how to fail.
Absolutely.
You know, because it's demoralizing.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't have a choice. You just keep showing up every day. So you build up that scar tissue.
Yeah, which is a cool thing too. And then I think one other thing that the mission taught that helped me in sales, especially in vibrant marketing, was a lot to do with like the organization and the time management.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. Being able to plan my week every Sunday night has made me so efficient on how many appointments I can take throughout the week.
It's really quite fascinating. I've told people like we should just get rid of college and instead just send people on missions.
Yo, that would
You
be...
know what I mean? Like everyone that comes back from one of those is infinitely better than they left. I'm not even talking about the religious part of it. I'm just talking about like the ability to learn how to grind.
Yeah, the skill set that you take is crazy. And the fact of waking up early too. That's one thing that I really admired and I took from that. And because of that, there's so many more hours in the day.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I read this book by Robin Shamar. It's one of my favorites called The 5 a.m. Club.
Oh, yeah. That was a weird story, though, attached to that book.
There is?
Yeah, well, the 5 a.m. Club, they go around the story of like them on an island, right?
Oh, yeah. Huh?
That's a weird story,
dude. And Mauritius or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a while. I did that for like a year. And I remember thinking like, damn, because if I normally would have gotten up at 8, right? And so 5 days a week, now I'm getting up at 5. So that's 15 hours a week. It's like I'm basically getting an additional work day that no one else has. You know what I mean? And so it was like, and I did because I did that. There was so much that I accomplished because I had basically, almost like 7 work days, because if a work day is 7 hours, 7.5, 8 hours, then I had 2 of those every week. Like it was a game changer.
That's crazy. Yeah. I think that was one of the coolest things I learned from there. And then taking it off into the real world after that. I mean, even in work, but in sports too, being able to manage it. And that plays into the triathlon part on how being able to manage working out 3 different disciplines of swimming, biking, and running and doing strength training, being able to plan that out all came from the fact I learned how to plan my weeks out.
Were you able to stay active on your mission, like physically?
Yes. It was actually kind of funny. So we actually joined a boxing gym.
Oh, wow.
We joined a freaking boxing gym.
Wow.
Yeah, so I learned how to box on the mission, like straight as like 4 to 5 months, just in there.
I've always thought that
at
would be
6
fun to
a.m.
do.
Yeah, and it was pretty funny too, because like I was the only white kid in there, so they just all kind of just like celebrated it. But like the funniest part about it is that was how we did our community outreach for a long time. Was instead of like doing the knocking doors thing, which we still did, but we're able to meet people through boxing. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And obviously you're building a rapport with them, so they're much more willing to like have a conversation with you and see your viewpoint than like just showing up at someone's doorstep who
100%.
didn't want you there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you build connections through sports and like difficulty so much better than just like showing up as a cold call.
Right.
Yeah, which is pretty wild.
That's cool.
Yeah. So after that, mission's up, and then I was like, well, I still want to play volleyball. So I was going to college at UVU, and I tried out, and I made the Utah Valley University men's volleyball team.
And are they D1?
No, they're still like considered like a club almost.
Oh, okay.
So they'd be like the ones that still go to like the national championship, but they don't get like a lot of the funding.
Got it.
Yeah, that everyone gets. So I made the volleyball team, and the craziest thing about it, Cody, I'm telling you, I was a middle blocker. Okay, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm so small, but I had a 44-inch vertical.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. It was awesome.
So could you dunk?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I came out there.
44 inches is
44
like,
a ton.
that's a massive.
Lots of jumping rope. Lots of jumping rope.
Did you want to have a vertical like that, or did it just organically happen from all the other activities you were doing?
It organically happened pretty well, but once I made the team, I was like, I really need to get this good. So what I would do is kind of funny is my parents lived up in Kaysville, and I was down in Orem for school, and they have like the UTA front runner, and it was literally every other night I would take the front runner home, go to the church gym, set up a volleyball net. No, this is during COVID too, so no one's there, just me and my dad.
Yeah.
And we practiced volleyball, blocking and like hitting every other night for like 6 months straight.
Wow.
Yeah. Every other night we were just practicing, and that's basically what got me into like being very good. And then towards the end of the season, we ended up playing in like one of the bigger tournaments with a lot of the leagues in Utah, and I was able to play with like the JV team instead of just the sophomore team.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
So how long did you keep that journey going?
Pretty much until the end of my freshman year, and then I decided I wanted to do student government instead. So
Man, you just love to bounce around.
it was just so many different things to learn and so many skill sets. So yeah, volleyball ended up, and then student government, and that's when triathlon kind of kicked back in from there.
Okay. You say kicked back in. Were you doing triathlon before?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Oh, when you were a kid. Okay.
So taking it before soccer and all that, I actually was on the swim team for like 6 years as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, so taking a reverse to swim team, and swim team was cool. Like I learned a lot. Practice was 5 days a week, and it's like all the way from
swimming is really like a grinding sport. Like you got to be in the water so much.
Yeah, and from 4th grade all the way on to like pretty much 9th grade. When the soccer was over, that's when swimming was over. Wasn't super serious about it, but I did get pretty good at it. And so swimming was that. My parents forced us to go to practice every day, though. I was so rough.
Do you appreciate that now, looking back?
100%. It's made me such a better athlete.
Yeah, well, and probably just better in general, right? Because that's just discipline. Discipline shows up on every way of life.
Yeah, 100%. So that was that. Swimming was in there. Obviously, running was trickled in there through sports. Biking was in there. Every Saturday, my dad would wake me up to go biking with him on Saturday mornings.
Are you doing like mountain biking or just like road biking?
Got my first road bike when I was like 13, and it was every Saturday after that in the summer was road biking.
Dang.
Yeah, dude. It was gnarly.
Okay, so tell me about your junior government or student government. What was that?
Okay, so student government, I was part of the events team at UVU. So basically they gave 4 of us a budget of like $100,000 for the year to throw events for the university.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So through that right there, we threw like country night where we like hired some company to come and do swing dancing for UVU. Like tons of attendance throughout through there. They had a talent show where we gave away like $1,000 prize for the winner of the talent show. And there's just a few other events trickled in there. Yeah. So that was student government. They gave us a scholarship, which is super nice. We got to travel to like other conferences around the U.S.
Wow.
Yeah, just as like our group. So that happened. And then the coolest thing I took out of student government, though, was project management.
Sure.
Yeah, being able to organize groups of people and be able to handle problems that just show up just out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, events is like... That's a tough business. You just never know what's going to happen.
No, never,
you got ready to pivot quick, and the audience can't know, or whatever it is that you're doing, that you're even going through it, you know?
Yeah, 100%, which is pretty cool, though. It was a good thing to learn from.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do.
And it's also kind of like another like new environment I noticed of just dealing with people, because normally like coming from high school and doing events and doing sports from there, it's your same group of friends.
Sure.
But going into college and having to deal with events and just hang out with a lot of different people, you learn like so many different things.
Yeah, right. Different personality types.
Oh my goodness, so crazy. Yeah. So that was student government right through there. Okay, and then next year,
what a wide range of experiences from like 18 to like 22.
So many skills. Next year I wanted to be an ambassador for the university. So that was the ones who gave like the tours around.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So through there, that was a lot of public speaking. It wasn't as hard as like student government would be, but through there it was just kind of time management and managing tours, managing having to do office hours and things like that.
Well, it's cool to hear you took your college experience and turned it into so much more than what the classroom was about.
Yeah, no, never put me in a classroom, dude. Online school all the way. No way.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So you did all of that involvement in the university without actually going to the classrooms?
Pretty much. I would say like maybe 1 or 2 in-person classes. I mean, I started out during COVID.
Part of that was COVID, yeah.
Part of it was COVID, but then after that, I just stuck with it. Because being able to do my homework on like all the evenings and using my day to do what I wanted was so much more productive.
Sure.
Yeah. So being able to like work.
Were you working at that time?
Yeah. I was doing door-to-door sales.
Oh, okay. What were you selling?
So I sold alarms for the first little bit, and then I switched over to solar in the end.
Okay. Never did the pest, huh?
No, never did the pest. Did you do door-to-door?
Nope.
No, none of that. Door-to-door was cool. It taught me a lot. That, I think, was more rejection than the mission was.
Really?
Yes. Well, being in Mexico, the blonde kid with blue eyes, it was like everyone wanted to see what you were doing.
They're at least a little bit interested in what you had to say. That's why I like pest control, because it's like everyone's got bugs.
Yep.
You know, that's a much easier sell. You got to have a lot more quantity, but you get those yeses, get that momentum.
Yeah, 100%. That's how it works. So door-to-door sales was my job at the time, and we just go on like these.
Were you only going in the summers?
No, so we did the summer and then these blitzes. So you just go out for like 10 days. And they pay, sometimes they pay for your Airbnb, sometimes they don't. And then you go out and you just like go crazy for 10 days. You're out there from probably like 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night.
All over the country, or?
So we did a lot in the South.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like Arkansas, Alabama, and then Texas.
Got it.
So that was pretty cool. Door-to-door was
What'd you
fun,
like selling more, alarms or solar?
Alarms, so much easier.
Really?
Goodness. Solar was cool, but we did solar in Texas, and it was extremely knocked.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's also unregulated, so there's like all these different energy companies. You get to choose who you who you want. It's totally different.
Yeah, and so it was cool, but like I was knocking on doors, like, you were here this morning. I was like, no, I wasn't. Straight was that bad.
Wow.
I was like literally sharing area with another rep from another company.
Dang.
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
Wow, wild. Okay, so you do the ambassador thing.
Do the ambassador thing, and then after that, that's when it was kind of the decision of like, what do I want to do with my future?
Yeah.
And away from there. So I actually went into project management. I did a project management program at UVU. What they did is they basically uses us as like contracted teams out to startups in the community. It's called E2I, extremely great initiative that they're doing in the community. And it was awesome to learn problem solving, because dealing with like a startup and then also dealing with university students is like two different battles you always got to fight. University students never show up to meetings. Startups are always like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, and chaos.
In chaos. So did project management. I really did like it. I thought it was a really cool thing. I actually was going to go try and work at Adobe. Got that like referral
you
to
told
do
me
an
that.
internship at Adobe to do their project management. But at the same time, it was I had like breakfast with Spencer.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother's wedding. Spencer was up there, and I know Spencer from beforehand, just like we talked a few times. He let me drive his Tesla one time. So yeah, I met with Spencer, and he's like, I got an idea. We're doing something. And so I was just telling me all about it. It wasn't even marketing at the time. He was talking about something else completely, but he was telling me basically he was going to start a company.
Yeah.
And so from there, I was like, you know what? I really like what Spencer does. Spencer is the type of person that I had called during my door-to-door sales times to say, hey, can you help train me just a little bit better?
Yeah.
So kind of like a mentor.
Sure.
He's the one who got me into reading books.
Okay.
So through there. And so he told me about it, and it was kind of that split decision of project management or just go to this new company.
Yeah.
And from there, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do the new company. I could never, like, it'd be regretful if I didn't do that.
Sure. And it'd be, I mean, working for a big organization doesn't provide the freedoms and the...
Oh, yeah. To film a podcast at 12:30 on a Friday.
Yeah. And then go golf in the afternoon.
Yeah, dude, 100%. So yeah, then I went over to Vibrant Marketing, and it was kind of like a test thing out in the beginning. And this is kind of funny. I don't know if Spencer told you this, but the day I actually came down to the office, I was still undecided.
Okay.
Still undecided. I remember you were there. Breck was there.
Yeah.
And then Spencer I think it was just you three in the office, and just kind of sitting down talking to everybody. It was the same day that Breck was making fun of you for having dirty tires on your Corvette. Yeah, that day.
Were you there for that video?
I was there for that video.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I just remember thinking to myself, I was like, this is the type of fun that I want to be having.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That was a good video. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I made a reel of that. Yeah, that's
100%.
good.
We'll edit it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the day I decided, I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I want to work with this company, and I want to learn from everybody.
That's cool.
And then
that's a great story.
Yeah, I saw Breck had like a bunch of Ferraris, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, he knows something. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So learn that from there. And then that night we went to Red Fort, me and Spencer and Kayla, and I was like, hey, listen, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So without even knowing anything about marketing too.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be real, no idea about whatever.
Well, and we were
ads
like,
was.
and if that was April, right? We weren't even real yet. It was like an idea,
Yeah. So that was cool. And then learning paid ads, goodness, Cody. Let me tell you, that has been a wild time.
Yeah.
I remember like the first month of it, I sold 2 deals. I remember the first 2 deals, Moo Cow Designs and then another guy. And I was just like, just going off it, talking about how cool paid ads were, what we were going to do without even like basically explaining it. And I got the credit card. I was like, what the frick?
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
Well, marketing is such a great thing to know too, because no matter what you do, at any point in your life if you can know how to market. And you're a mixture of marketing and sales, so it's like two just incredible skill sets to have.
Yeah, 100% through there. So that kind of just led us through there. That's kind of been the career journey all the way till right now. Just doing marketing right now and selling a lot of the deals and learning a lot through that.
And now you got a team too, so you're getting some of that experience as well. So let's talk about the triathlon thing then. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so triathlon started out as a kid. I raced my first triathlon when I was 12 years old. So that was kind of cool.
And how far did you go?
It was a sprint distance, so 750-meter swim. It was like a 12-mile bike and then a 5K run. So pretty quick. As a kid, I was 12 years old, completely swiped the age division, ended up getting like 5th place in the whole race.
Wow.
So that's when I was like, whoa, I can be pretty good at this, right? And then from there, I just kind of fell off. It was like nothing ever happened. And so it was just swim team, and then there was just multi-sport right after that. And it wasn't until it was like COVID when I was coming home, right after I was done with volleyball, I was like, well, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
I've always kind of had the biggest dream in the world is like, I want to be an Olympian. That's the one thing there. I was like,
that's pretty cool.
That's what I wanted.
That's not a goal a lot of like youth have anymore. Like for sure when I was a kid, it was like that was a thing, you know? But I don't feel like many kids, if you ask them now, that wouldn't be a goal a lot of people have. Yeah. But I think that's really cool.
That's weird. I don't know why. It's the coolest thing in the world.
I think it's a dope goal. Yeah, you got to represent your country, win a gold medal.
USA on the back.
Yeah, I think that's incredible.
Yeah. So that was kind of the process. I was like, I want to be an Olympian and I want to go represent the USA in something.
Yeah.
And so I had the choice. I was like, I can either play volleyball for the US, which is, I'm a pretty small guy. So I was thinking maybe sand volleyball, but then I went and played sand. I was like, I'm not good at this.
Yeah, because you'd lose your advantage of jumping.
Oh,
right?
All the way. Yeah. So sand volleyball was the thing, or I was like, well, I could try triathlon again. Let's go after triathlon. So I decided to sign up for this triathlon, and it was kind of hard. I decided to do like the half Ironman distance first.
Okay, so tell me what those distances are.
So the 3 races I've done is the sprint distance, which is what we talked about at the beginning, 750, 12 mile, and then a 5K run. Then there's the Olympic distance is what I raced last year, and that is like it's a mile swim, 26-mile bike, and then a 10K run.
How many miles is 10K?
It's like 6.4.
Okay.
6.4. And then after that, there is the half Ironman distance, where that's like a 1.3 mile swim, 56-mile bike, and then a half marathon.
What's the hardest of those 3 for you?
I think the hardest is running.
Is it just because it's at the end? Would it be different if you started running?
Probably. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're tired, but I think through nutrition, you're able to actually counteract that to still have good enough energy. Yeah. It's just for me, with how my amount of muscle mass that I have, it just makes it harder to run with the fast guys. Because I'm just not like I'm not a twig like a lot of them.
Yeah, right. I mean, you look at those, like the people who win marathons.
Oh, yeah. They're just so skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'd say running is probably the hardest one, but it's also like the most mentally challenging because you're really just trying to hang on.
Right.
You're just trying to keep that speed and finish that race. That's why you see a lot of the triathlons at the end, after they finish, they just fall over because they just were trying to
They literally used everything that they had to. I can remember when I'm running one of my, because like the competitive people will just shit and piss while they're running.
Yeah, dude, straight up.
And I remember running, I had a good time. This was the Ogden half marathon.
No way.
And I was killing it because it's downhill. So it's a great one to get a good time. And I got hit with like the bubble guts, and I was like, do I keep going, and you just don't know when the restroom's going to be. And I also didn't really want to stop for it. And it's just the whole thing is, we don't need to get into it, but you're sweating and all that stuff. And it's a porta potty, everything about it's terrible.
Yeah.
So I ended up having to stop. I'll never forget training for the marathon. I was in Houston.
Oh.
Humid, hot, nasty, right? And I'm running this one day, and I'm about at the halfway point of like home going backwards or home going forwards.
No way.
And I get hit with it. And I'm like, I'm going to have to shit in someone's yard.
No way.
Like I would.
No way.
Yes, dude. Or in my pants, right? Because I was wearing like compression pants, you know? And so like I would like walk and be like, trying to figure out what can I do here, Dude. So I'm like walking, I'm like, oh, nope, it's worse. I got to run. And then like we're surrounded by this wooded area, but not woods you want to go in because there's bugs. And like I remember when I've seen a huge ass snake come out of there, like it's Houston,
No, dude.
And so I'm like, I can't go in the woods. Like I'm either going to have to just shit myself.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to have to like go in someone's yard. And so I'm like in this internal debate. So I probably had 2 miles to get home at that point. And thank God I made it, dude. But I really thought for sure, like it's just not going to happen.
No way. Talk about some mental like strength right there.
Oh.
Dude. No way.
It took everything in me, man. I thought, like, yeah, I'm just going to shit my pants.
Holy.
Yeah.
Especially running too.
Oh, and in Houston with the sweat and the humidity, it would have been a straight garbage pair of pants.
That's bad. That's bad. That happened to me during a marathon, but at least there's porta potties, dude. There's no way.
Terrible.
So speaking about nutrition then, dude, that's one thing that's been such a game changer in sports, especially in triathlon. Because once you can narrow down your nutrition to get the right amount of like carbs and calories that you need, you can actually keep going pretty fast.
Yeah, it's quite the science, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like the food that you put in your body for the things that you're doing.
Yeah, and like a lot of people do a lot of weird different things.
So speaking of which, what should my nutrition be if I'm going to attack these 37 miles? What's that look like?
Well, you're going to be an ultra marathoner, so you got to take note of what they do because it's going to be way different than my sprinting athlete. But the ultra marathoners I've talked to, they have simple foods, but they're having like meals while they're running. And a lot of them do it on trails. So yeah, making sure you're doing it on a trail because when you do it on the road, it's just like your feet are only going one way pretty much. It really can tear on your ankles and everything like that. So they do it on the trails because it works like every part of the foot when you go through there because you're going up and down, you're going left and right.
I got you. So it allows you like longevity because the same part of your foot's not getting beat up.
Yeah, the whole time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so they do it on trails, but they honestly have like meals when they go through. Like a lot of them have like soup, they have chili, I've seen someone have like a grilled cheese sandwich.
While they're running.
There. Yeah, well they'll stop at aid stations and they'll eat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm going to have a support vehicle because, you know, I could die, you know. So
Hey,
like,
I'd love to be on it. Yeah.
So we'll see. As it gets closer, I'll have to really plan for it and let people. Because the one thing is, like, if I get someone, like, let's say you're like, I'll run mile 20 with you or whatever, you know, that's going to keep you going.
Oh, 100%. A pacer, yeah.
Yeah. You
Having
know,
someone with you.
to get, you know, keep that momentum. The more I talk about it, the more I feel like I'm going to do it.
Dude, you have to do it.
I do have
you
to
have
do
to
it.
do it.
I know. God damn it.
Especially because you get all that likes, dude. People are expecting this to happen.
Oh, I know. I spoke at an event in Columbus and we had a Q&A at the end, and one of the guys, I call on him, he's like, how's your training going?
No way.
And I was like,
Stop.
I was like, no. I'll answer any question but that one.
Anything but that. Hey, well, you got to have one thing that I've noticed with a lot of endurance athletes, even in triathlon. I interviewed the Iron Cowboy. James Lawrence. He did like 100 full Ironmans.
Yeah.
101 in 101 days.
Yeah, fucking wild.
Yeah, the full distance on there is 2.6 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then he runs a full marathon.
And then he's also got to travel. So it's like just doing that in itself is amazing.
Oh,
but then you got to.
His new one, though, he did it in one spot, though. He didn't travel for this new one.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah. His old one, he did the half Ironmans, and
then he traveled
50
around.
States.
Okay.
Yeah, this new one, he stayed in one spot because like that race is over 10 hours. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like
crazy.
How could you even?
So he did that, and I was able to interview him. And I talked to him a lot about it.
What did you interview him for? Like, as what capacity?
I knew his daughter from school, and I was like, "Can I please just talk to him?"
Oh wow,
just straight up,
that's
just
cool.
like something like this. And I have a recording of it. And what he told me, he's like, you know, what gets me through the end of the day is you have to have like an ethos, and then you have to have a bag of whys. And his ethos was just like, have you completed the thing that you said you were going to get started, and then have you done what you said? It's like, would your kids be proud of you? Is like the two things that he says he tells himself.
Two hammers, dude.
Two dogs.
Because I started it for like, because I thought like, what a cool thing for my kids, you know, because like they could bike a mile with me or whatever, and God damn it.
Yeah. Are your kids proud of you, what you've been doing, and have you said what you started? You said, well, did what you do, whatever. God damn it. That's good. So there's two ethoses right there, and then the other one was like a bag of whys. And just having like a written out 10 list of why you are doing what you do, so that when it gets tough, because you know what mile 19 is like, being able to dig into that bag and think about, hey, I have this why.
Well, what I'm trying to do is infinitely harder too, because there's not a fucking finish line.
No, dude.
That's like cool and
No
exciting.
way.
There's no medal, you know, no.
You're just thinking,
Because once you hit like diagonal, you got all those people clapping you on, cheering for you, signs.
For you, yeah.
You know, this is just me.
It's just crazy. Hey, well then you gotta get your bag of whys then, because it's gonna be even more important then.
Yeah, purpose is such an important thing. I talk about that in the book, that like find your why, because the difference between success and failure often, I believe, is tied to your purpose. Because if you start something without a purpose, then it's too easy to quit. Yeah. Because it literally doesn't matter. Right? But once you have that purpose, that gives you the ability to keep pushing.
Yeah, that's actually super cool. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Okay, so you do the triathlon, and then how do you make it on Team USA?
Yeah, so I ended up just going through that right there and calling around to a lot of different coaches. Did that triathlon, did super well actually, that first half one. It was really rough on the run because it was just so windy. Such a crazy day.
Where'd you do it at?
Bear Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Bear
yeah.
Lake. Yeah, so windy up there. The bike ride was awesome though. I had like all these adults were like, "Hey, hell of a race, kid," and I was just like kicking their ass on the bike. So yeah, I was like 21 at that time. And then it was just from there on calling around and saying, "Hey, I want to do this. I want to get better. Let me send you my times." And I went through like 3 different coaches to say, "Hey, this is the guy." And so I found him, worked with him, and he was a member. He's one of the trainers for Team USA, and he's like, "Okay, I'll take you on."
Wow.
And it was just crazy. It was honestly, it was weird because I was like, "Why? You have no reason to take me on. Like the things that I've told you is nothing compared to the athletes that you coach."
Sure.
And he took me on a whim, and he was
Because you
like,
got that dog in you.
yeah, straight up, dude. I wasn't letting him off the phone without saying yes. But he took me on, and from there, it was just kind of like he told out the whole program. And the program was basically, we're going to track how much you sleep, you're going to work out 3 times a day, and you're going to eat a lot of calories. Is pretty much the
Wow.
summary.
So could you not work then with all of that regimen that you're on, or?
I could still work pretty well. That came back into like the time management of being able to be like, okay, I'm waking up at 4:30 today. I got to get my 2 workouts in the morning before 9 a.m. And then from there, I'll work
2 workouts before 9 a.m.?
Yeah, dude. It was
Damn.
a bike and a run or a swim and a run.
Jeez.
Just like how it goes. But you have to, in order to train triathlon and be good, you have to do like those brick workouts where it's one after the other.
Yeah.
So that's just how it is. And so learning how to manage that, and then always working throughout the day, doing my homework during lunchtime, anytime I could. And then at nighttime, another workout again.
So did you graduate high school or college then?
No, I'm still in college.
Oh, you still are?
Still am. Yep. Which is crazy. It's just like I do my homeworks on Saturday. That's literally it. All online classes saves me tons of time throughout the week.
Yeah.
And just being able to do it on Saturday.
How close are you to graduating?
I have like a year left.
Okay. And for what?
I did technology management.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically an emphasis in project management and a little bit of IT circled in there.
And so it's all been at UVU?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. All UVU. So that was cool. The schedule was rough. I'll be real. It doesn't make for a good social life.
Yeah. Well,
Not even close.
yeah, because you got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to go to bed at 9. I remember being at my apartment and being like, I'm closing the door and locking it. So like none of the boys can come over and knock on the door and say, hey, let's go hot tubbing.
Yeah,
or something
right.
like that. Because I got to get up.
Wow.
Yeah.
What amazing discipline.
It's crazy. I think it came from just being playing so many sports as a kid.
Oh, I
Going
think
to
that
practice.
getting your kids in sports is the greatest thing you can do. Whether they're good at it or not is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Just get them in it. You know, like I coached my kids soccer. They had their first game last night. And like I had this little kid, Peter, he's very small compared to his peers. You know, I don't know how old he is. And you could tell he was timid and he was a little bit scared, you know, got there late, got in the game. And he just came alive. Like he had that smile. He was high-fiving, you know. And it was just so cool to see that blossom. And to like, even though he didn't score or even do anything that was like impactful, he was on the field with his team and felt like a winner, as he should, because he was a part of the winning team. And it's like,
so cool.
what a great moment for him. I don't know that kid at all, but I imagine like he really left that night feeling like, hell yeah.
Dude, it's like 100. And the kids remember those things too.
Of course they do. I remember the first goal I ever scored.
Yeah.
You know, because I played soccer too. I played on traveling teams. And in fact, I remember in 3rd grade, this is how well I remember it. So it was snowing in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And it was the day that the Denver Nuggets beat the Seattle Supersonics in the first round of the playoffs. It was back in a 5-game series. And we had Dikembe Mutombo. And the Supersonics were the #1 team in the NBA. And we listened to it in the car.
Wow.
And then when we got out of the car, like stay warm, there was so much snow on the ground. We had to go and like clear the snow with our feet to see the lines, like where the out of bounds and all that was, right? Before we could even play. And this was the semifinals. So this was to get to the state championship. And I was playing defense and it was tied, the end of the game. Kid kicks it. And then like I go over to block it, but it hits off of my left leg.
No way.
And so my goalie had gone this way.
Oh boy.
Bounce off my left leg.
No way.
Into the goal.
No way.
Yep, lose the game.
Wow. Your first goal.
Yeah, that wasn't my first one. But I'm just saying like that memory still sticks with me.
It.
Like I remember sitting in the forerunner of my friend's car, listening to the game, cleaning off the snow. I mean, that was what would I have been, 9? So that was like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And I can see it like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I have a memory just like that. We played against, so there was, I played for a soccer club. There was like 3 different teams, and we played the top team. We played the top team through there in a tournament, and it was 0-0 the whole game, Cody. I'm not even kidding. Like the last 10 minutes of this game, I'm playing defense, and they crossed the ball. And before the game, I think I was 12 years old. Before the game, I was playing volleyball with my friends, just like hanging out in the backyard style thing. I literally jumped up and blocked the ball with my hand in the box as a 12-year-old kid in the end of the game in a tournament. Okay. Most awful thing that could ever happen. Penalty kick, they score and win the game. The other team wins. And I just remember just bawling my eyes out. I was like, why did I do that? It's just like a natural reaction, just like happened. But I remember my coach pulled me aside after. He didn't take me out. He didn't even care that much. He was just like, dude, don't let one mistake define who you are.
Wow.
And
coaches are so important in kids' youth sports, because that could have gone a different way.
Yeah. And we ended up, we won the tournament. That was just like one of the preliminary games or something like that. But one mistake, I just remember that. It was the most awful thing. But because of that, I took from that don't let one mistake ever define who you are.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great message. Last night, so we let the other team start with the ball, and basically they're little, they don't know what they're doing, so they just kick it as hard as they can at the start. And I have my team like lined up to like try and stop it, and the ball going right for my son, and he just moves out of the way, and it goes into the net, and I'm like, Cash, what are you doing? Like, I literally put you there for that exact reason.
No way.
Just like block it. And he was like, I don't know, Dad, instinct. I didn't want it to hit me.
No way.
But so then I put him on the line, and I said, now you better score to tie it up. And he scored. He kicked it from there and scored. But yeah, I think getting into youth sports or youth competition of any kind, I mean, just anything to develop the understanding of working together as a team, building the understanding of like all the hard work it takes to win, and that one loss doesn't define you, and building that ability to lose and look back on yourself and say, what changes could I have made so you can be better next time? Yeah,
100%. I also think kind of with youth sports, one thing that I admired and I look back now is the ability to lose actually and to fail.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's cool that we can get participation trophies for everybody.
It's not cool, no.
But like, dude, I feel like I learned so much more from the failing.
You got to bag those things.
Because
as a community, we got to get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
Let the kids know.
Let the kids lose.
Like in our sports, like in my son's, there's no one keeps score, but I always do, because I want the kids to know, like, based on what we do, there's an outcome, and you got to learn to lose, because I think so many people, we shield, like this whole generation is shielded from losing, and then they get their first job, and they're like, oh, you didn't do that well enough, like you failed, and they're just broken. Like when I play Guess Who with my kids, I dominate. They've literally never beat me in Guess Who.
No way.
Never, not one time. And I won't let them win. And my wife's like, can you just let them win? I was like, no, because when they do, it's going to feel amazing. And I want them to learn to lose. Because if they don't learn to lose now, then they're going to be devastated when they, buy their first crypto and lose all their money. They're not going to know how to handle it,
Oh my goodness. I love that. I agree with you. I think not even in business, but in life, dude, because even in life, I feel like you get hit with a lot of different things all the time.
Well, most likely every person listening to this podcast is going to lose more than they win.
Yeah. But a cool thing I learned from a mentor though, is you succeed to the same degree that you fail.
Yeah.
So it's just like the fact of like, I can fail a ton, but I know that that's going to teach me to become one of the best and most successful people.
Well, yeah, you fail forward. The quicker you can lose, the faster you can learn. In fact, Nelson Mandela has a quote. He says, I never lose. I either win or I learn.
Yo, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. Oh my goodness. Okay.
And so true, So you've read Winning the Moment. So what was your favorite part or favorite takeaway of the book?
My favorite takeaway is something that, we tie it all together. Obviously the part of success, and the best chapter I think was on opposition.
Sure.
Opposition right there, it ties back in the conversation we just had about how things in life are going to be hard. Things are going to happen, but it's how you deal with it and how you move forward. It's like how you react to it is 90% of how anything's going to turn out.
Right.
100%. And going through opposition, especially maybe this year, I think is probably in the last 6 months, I'd say, was the most opposition I ever faced.
Sure.
I was succeeding a lot. Marketing, we were killing it.
Yeah.
We were growing so much, but cool. But at the same time, personal life, it was just making the decision of, am I going to continue doing triathlon? Do I want to do this, or do I want to try a hybrid athlete sport? Something that I know I can be dang good at. going through there, family life. It was just kind of like, I don't know if Spencer told you, my mom I guess my mom got cancer a few months ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So going through that, and
how's she doing?
She's doing great. It's kind of like a bone cancer that it just means that her white blood, when she does her chemo, her white blood cell count just drops a ton, so she can't leave the house.
Oh, wow.
But it's like when that first happens, it is like the biggest shock on the planet.
Oh, well, especially because if like your mom's running marathons and stuff,
straight up,
you always think as like that healthy individual, like,
yeah, you never expect
not going to happen to me type deal, you know?
You never expect anything like that.
So is her outlook look positive?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, she's going through her treatments right now, and it's the cool part about my job is I can still take her to treatment on Tuesday, and it's just kind of nice to be able to do that. But yeah, that kind of hit me in the mouth, and at the same time, triathlon was kind of crumbling before me on the decisions I had to make, what I wanted to do before, and that was just kind of, I had like a huge breakup even right before that. This happened like a period of like a month. This all kind of came out.
Just all hitting you.
And I just feel like I was
sides.
just like getting kicked while I was down. And the opposition just came forward. But then like one thing that I pulled out from that situation was no one was coming to help. I was the one who had to pick myself back up.
Right.
And you pick yourself back up through there and you make it work. Like there's not going to be a magical day that shows up, but they're like, okay, I'm all better. I'm feeling good. Let's go make it happen.
Yeah.
You got to pick yourself up while you're hurting.
Absolutely.
Because the longer you stay down, the longer you're missing opportunities.
And the harder it is to get back up.
Yeah.
Right.
So picking myself back up through there and then just working my way through, obviously, using friends of like telling them it's okay to be open to people about things.
You got to be.
Yeah. So using friends saying, hey, this is happening, and let them support you.
Yeah.
And you in the end of the day are the one who has to pick yourself back up.
Yeah, that's a great message for all listeners.
Absolutely. I think, because everyone's going to go through hardship no matter what it is.
Well, I think one of the things that I learned as I've, gotten older, if you're watching this, you can see my gray hairs, and I've earned them all. I really thought as like, probably even as your age, honestly. How old are you?
24.
Yeah. Even younger, that like my growth was just going to be this steady climb to the top, and that like maybe I would level, but like always climbing. And that's just not the reality. The fact of the matter is it's peak, it's valley, higher peak, higher valley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. It's the cyclical adventure that you're on. And you've got to, I used to tell my sales guys this all the time. Like I remember one time I had this salesperson, if you're listening, Brett Ziske, Southeast Gilbert, location 644. He called me one day and he's like, "Oh, dude, man, I'm sorry. Like I suck. I bet 0. Like it's just a terrible day," and was like really apologetic. I said, "Brett, listen. Here's the thing, dude. The good days feel so good because of what you're experiencing right now." Like you need polarity in life, and this feeling is what's going to allow the next day when you kick ass to feel so good. So don't apologize.
Yeah.
Just embrace it, be in the moment, feel the feelings you're feeling, and that's going to be your motivation to not feel that way again.
100%. Oh, I love that. That's so good. I think that also kind of ties into the fact of, the highs and the lows are only possible because we show up.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's step number 1.
That's just the showing up. And that's why I always thought like winning the moment, one of the cool messages I took besides for the opposition of what I kind of thought success was showing up.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, it's the destination. It's more just an everyday action.
Well, it starts with that, right? Like if you just consistently show up, you're going to pass other people.
Yeah.
And whatever destination you're after, because most people won't show up every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
like sometimes
100%.
it's as easy as that. Like to be the best salesperson, if you're like in a door knocking group, if you're just actually up every day and you do it, your law of averages, you're going to beat the person.
Numbers,
yeah. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Yeah.
So what's your purpose now?
Right now, that's a really good question. I've been kind of developing it out and changing it a lot.
As you should. It should never be stagnant.
You're always kind of changing it. But right now, I want to develop myself into my potential. And how I'm doing that is I'm very specific about my goals that I have, very specific about the paths that I want to take in life when it comes to, I wouldn't say specific because I'm still open for pivoting and things like that show up. But I want to get what I want. I'm not going to let the wind kind of blow me around. I'm taking control
You're
of what
in charge.
I want.
I love that. I'm curious, actually. I'm glad that you made me think of this question because you are 24. And so I haven't had a lot of people at your age on the podcast, just you and my sister. And so I'm curious, like, how is it for you, given the climate of the economy and just the world as a whole now? Because like I bought my first house for $177,000. I bought my second house for $98,000. Like there's opportunities that I had that you do not have. So what does your future look like? Are you concerned about any of that? Like, how are you, as you think about like getting married, having a house, starting a family, like does that American dream feel tangible to you and reachable?
I think it does. And call me a fool because I'm optimistic, but I think the only way to get through challenges, especially things that you can't control like this, there's things I can do, things I can't, but to take a positive outlook on it. And it's not hoping for the best because I'm still putting towards actions in what I need to do to accomplish those dreams, but it's staying positive even when the outlook doesn't look as crazy as it used to be, as awesome as it used to be. So whether it's being in the job I want to work for, I'm optimistic that with the company we work for right now that we can take it to the moon. If I was just negative about it, then there's no way it ever happened. There's no way I could accomplish it. Same thing with life, getting married and things like that. It's definitely a big goal and I'm optimistic. Right now I'm kind of in the season of life where I'm developing myself a little more and I want to be developed enough that I can be as good as I can to marry someone who's just as good.
Man, what a great message for the listeners because you got to love yourself before someone else is going to love you.
100%. Oh, Cody, that is the best thing ever right there. That's the thing that everybody misses out on, dude.
Yeah.
Clip it. That's what everybody misses out on because you're kind of looking for someone to fix you. But take it back
never
going to
work.
No, you have to fix yourself and then become like a mutual partner in this relationship. You can't just, go fishing for something that's just going to make you even better.
Yeah, any relationship where they're like, oh, my partner makes me happy or this, that, or the other thing. It's like, that's not a bad thing, but your happiness shouldn't be predicated on someone else.
Yeah.
Like happiness starts from within.
100%.
And if you're happy, then your partner can make you happier, but you got to have a baseline ability to get yourself to wherever you want to be first.
Dude, 100%. You can't just be looking for someone else to make you happy. Otherwise,
don't.
Because when you make yourself happy, just look at what your life becomes.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have bad days. Everyone's going to have them. But being able to make yourself happy and make yourself proud of yourself is what makes you successful.
It's so amazing because the way that you perceive things is what things are. And so just changing your mindset can legitimately change your life. My wife always says all the time because she'll like mock my messages,
I love it.
in like a fun, playful way. But she'll be like, I'll say something like, the house is dirty, it needs to be cleaner. And she'll be like, change your mind, change your life. I'm like, well, what does that mean? She's like, just say it isn't dirty. And I was like, God damn it, like factually you're wrong. But you are also right. Because if I choose to not allow it to bother me, then it doesn't matter, But I don't want to do that because it does bother me. But I could just change it and be like, oh, it doesn't matter. I got kids and 2 dogs. Like, what are you going to do?
You gotta find some balance in there.
Yeah. So it's really quite interesting. And I think that's what's so fascinating. The power of the mind is we truly have because like even the way that you just answered that question, there's another 24-year-old who's like, no, it's not my fault. Like my life sucks. I live in my parents' basement. Like it's never going to get any better. And there's nothing I could do about it. Right. Same situation. Different perspectives will in turn become different realities. Yeah. So it's so powerful to have that outlook.
Dude, and I mean, talk about that. I'll talk about the struggle that you go through even like right now within that, besides for personal life stuff. You talk about the economy. I learned what it's like to be rough. I mean, I grew up in an amazing family and stuff, but moving off to college and through that, I remember trying to pay for triathlon fees, trying to pay for housing, pay for school and all that. I remember I would take the bus to school, dude. I would literally take the bus to school, would just walk to it from there. I remember and trying to find optimistic in that because you can look at all the negatives.
I mean, I can't. When I think about my sister, it's like crazy, because she's paying like $1,200 a month to share a 2-bedroom apartment with someone. So she has like her own bedroom, her own bathroom, but like a shared living room and kitchen. Didn't even know the gal. And you're paying $1,200 a month for that. My first house I bought in Arizona, 2010, I think. My mortgage was $1,000 a month, so less than hers, and it was a brand new 2,000 square foot house. You know what I mean? Dude. And so it's like I just think about like the battle she's facing, this uphill battle of just what the economy is today, and where interest rates are at, and all of those things that it makes you really have got a battle to fight. But then on the same token, there's also this opportunity that didn't exist at that time, like YouTube. You can just create videos and become a millionaire, get on TikTok, and then like I have a friend who bought this stupid crypto coin called Dog Whiff Hat, which is literally backed by nothing. It's just like a meme coin. Okay. And he's in crypto, so he gets like airdropped shit. Like, if you're in the game, you're in the game. That fool right now has $1 million of Dog Whiff Hat. $1 million.
Wow. Okay. That
over the course of like 4 weeks, So in one breath, I'm saying it's hard, and in the other breath, This fool just became a millionaire
Yeah.
in a month.
Yeah. It's all about how you look at it.
Liquid million, and he's not selling it.
No way. He's going to keep it?
He is right now. Everyone is like, dude, sell half of that.
Yeah, dude, take
Buy yourself
500K.
a home, like let the other rip. And he's like, nah.
Wow.
You know?
What does he think's going to happen, though? Because crypto's pretty volatile.
To the moon, dude.
To the moon. To the moon. We should make a vibrant coin.
Yes, no kidding.
A vibrant coin.
It doesn't even matter. The coin has no utility whatsoever. It's not like Solana or what's the other one called? Like Ethereum or Bitcoin or any of those. It's just like it's literally a bullshit coin that just has this thing behind it, and it's not even on. Because I finally was like, dude, how do I jump into the dog with hat game? And it was like it's 14 steps. Like I'm like, dude, that's beyond my comprehension.
It's 14 steps.
So I just told a buddy of mine, like, can I just give you money and you'll do it for me? Because I can't figure it out. And so it's not even on like Coinbase or any like normal platform. Yeah. So we're just waiting for it to hit that, and then it should, who knows, to the moon, I guess.
Wow, to the moon. Did you buy some then? Did you?
I got in the game. I got late, but I'm in it.
You're in
because
it.
I lost, the pictures that are worth money. What are they called? NFTs, right? So I did the NFT thing a couple years ago, and like we put in 15 grand. And we got up to like 60. And I was like, fuck yeah. That was in 2 months or something. I was like, this is amazing. But I was in it with Breck. Okay. And then also my other buddy, Andrew. And they were like, no, we got to keep going. Like Bubble Goose are coming. And we're going to get 10 of those minted for free. And they're going to be bigger than the whales. And I was like, okay. None of that worked out. So like we lost all of our money. It got down to like let's say, so we had $40,000 into it. It got down to probably being worth like $4,500.
Oh, dang.
And we just barely got back to zero.
Wow.
Like literally like last week.
Okay.
And so then I finally got like my money back, and then I put it in dog with hat. So we'll see. Who knows?
You'll see what happens. Are you into the crypto then? Are you
no. I mean, I don't know anything about it. I don't even know how to buy it, dude. Okay. Like I had to have him buy it for me, but I just know there's this opportunity out there.
Yeah.
But when you can make money that quick, you can lose it just as quick, right? That $1 million could become zero tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's
crazy about that? I do like the opportunity you talk about, though, because that's one thing that Gary Vaynerchuk talks about too, and he's so optimistic too. He's like, the kids right now are graduating college are going into the best like 10 years of their life because you have all this opportunity right now. Look at how much money you can make just from the internet. I mean, right now I work from my computer every day.
Yeah,
which is the coolest thing.
There truly is unbelievable opportunity because some of those people on TikTok who are making, I just had a Dusty K was a guest on the podcast like a month ago or so, and she was at a point with her YouTube she made $500,000 a year.
Wow,
just making videos.
That's crazy.
So it's like, as much as there are obstacles, there's also unbelievable opportunity.
Well, as things change, and now with the power of AI that's coming out too,
Nexa AI,
that's a whole thing.
If you're listening to this and you need a website, we will build one for you using AI. Go to nexawebai.com and use promo code HFB50. We'll give you 50% off, only $250 for a custom WordPress website delivered in 24 hours.
That's beautiful.
Let's get it.
How much is hosting?
$250 a month will give you everything that you need. I think you can do it as low as $50 a month.
Easy stuff. And they're a good website, right?
Yo, it's great. Yeah, it's built on WordPress.
That's beautiful.
It's incredible.
Done in 24 hours. Jeez. Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's a new thing.
Whole brand new company. Just started.
No way. How many clients do you have right now for it?
I think we've done 4 so far. Okay. And they've all taken, like, they're doing the SEO, they're doing the hosting, maintenance, all of that. So really exciting to see where this thing, I mean, this thing has an opportunity the biggest of anything I've ever been a part of.
That's crazy.
Because the scalability is infinite.
Yeah. Can we sell them ads?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
The whole idea of building Nexa sites was that the only way that we can sell SEO, maintenance, marketing is if they have a website. And a part of the barrier to entry problem is that like a really nice custom website is going to run you $4,000 to $20,000, and not everyone has the opportunity if they're starting something new to invest at that level. So build your site with us on Nexa. Let's get it live. Let's get some eyeballs on your site. Let's get you some customers and some leads, and eventually you can work towards having a custom site.
Yeah.
But let's get in the game first.
That's crazy. That's the coolest thing. So is that your new favorite company? Is that like one of your favorite things you've ever done with business?
It has the opportunity to be the coolest thing I've ever been a part of, for sure.
The coolest thing.
And certainly the scalability that nothing has ever offered, because you don't have employees because we're utilizing it. I mean, you have some employees, right? But not like when you think about scalability and how big you get and the percentage of your income is represented by payroll, this will not be in that space, right? Yeah. And we can ultimately sell it to anyone, anywhere.
That's crazy.
Where so many of my other businesses have been niched down and employee reliant, right? And so this one certainly has such an unbelievable opportunity to be Amazing.
Man, that's crazy. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm
I'll be
excited
into
too.
that.
So we are at our time, but I can't let you leave without asking you,
Okay.
how do you define success?
I define success by the ability to show up every single day. Success is not a destination. Success is the ability to be there. Just be present. It's an action every single day, no matter what it is, because you could be successful if you show up to work. You could be successful. You show up to sports. You could be successful to win the Olympics.
Show up for your family.
Showing up for what you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, I love that, dude. Thank you so much. And I do want to say, you said Spencer got you into books. What's your favorite book you've read?
Favorite book I've read? This year, my favorite book I read was The Automatic Millionaire. My favorite book I've ever read in my whole entire life would have to be... Oh, The Best Mindset Change Ever. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
There you go.
Good stuff.
Okay, what a way to end. If people have a business and they need marketing, how should they get in touch with you?
Go to vibrantmarketing.co. You can click the call us, contact us button, or if you want to just give me a call, text me for my number. It is 435-557-4148. We'll get you set up on the ads. Just because you heard it from the podcast, we'll give you 50% off, just like
Ayo!
There you go.
And I will put all the Vibrant marketing info in the show notes. People can click on that. I'll put your email, your phone number. And then are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram. Right now it's just doing fitness videos because I'm trying to get more sponsors, but it is J_FOOTEY.
Okay, well, let's all go follow Jared and give him that support to becoming an Olympian.
Finally.
Let's get it. All right, Jared, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Cody.